My guest tonight is the President and CEO of the International Rescue Committee. Please welcome David Miliband. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Great to be here with you.
Great to be here, but not at a good time for the IRC. For those who don't know, real quick, what does the IRC do?
We're an international humanitarian aid organization in 30 war-torn countries where people are having their lives ruined by war and conflict. And across the US, in 29 cities, we resettle refugees here. 13,000 refugees found a new life here with the IRC in 2016.
So you guys are doing amazing work and you're on the ground. When the executive order / travel ban came down, how did that affect what you were actually doing with these people?
So immediately, our staff around the world faced this terrible problem. A propaganda gift for ISIS and for Al-Qaeda who want to say that America will never look after Muslim populations. That's immediately the emboldening of enemies, never mind the shock for the allies. For our refugee resettlement work here, we immediately faced the prospect first of the halving of the numbers of refugees.
Yeah.
But there's also the human side of the story. That gets lost in the statistics. Look, today we're dealing with the case of a man who helped the US forces in Iraq. He found a new home here in 2014 because he was admitted as a refugee.
Yes.
His wife had to go through further checks. She passed those checks and she booked a plane ride to come here on the 7th of February. What does she get told just last weekend? She's told the gate has been shut on you. You're going to have to remain away from your husband. Now, that is not a fictional story. That is a real case today. Actually, the man's in the audience here today.
They're right here.
Is here. And I want to acknowledge them because he is not a threat to America. That man, no way, that man is not someone who Americans should be afraid of. They shouldn't be afraid of his family. They should be cheering that man because he wants to become a productive and patriotic citizen in this country.
Let's talk about two things then off that. I'll play devil's advocate for a second and say, how do you respond to people in the US? And I mean, you're not just responsible for reallocating or relocating refugees in the US, but also all over the world. Yeah. So how do you respond to someone who says, yeah, but I don't know who's safe. I don't know if anyone may sneak through. These may be good people, but how do we know that we're not putting ourselves in danger?
It's harder to get to the US as a refugee than through any other route. It's 18 months of security checks, biometric tests, interviews, so that you go through 12 to 15 different parts of the US government, making sure that you are who you say you are, that you're going to be someone who lives by the laws of this country and contributes to this country. Now, the truth is that refugees are not terrorists. They are victims of terror. They're being bombed out of their homes across Syria, which is the largest refugee population, and the refugee population has been banned from this country indefinitely.
Let's talk a little bit about the fact that, I mean, these are people who are running away from the very same enemy that America is trying to target. And so, for all intents and purposes, people are on the same side. Now what's happening is ISIS is using this as a recruitment tool, saying, as you can see, America doesn't want Muslims in their country, and so we are your only option.
Look, we've got to understand that the generational challenge that's being posed by extremist groups around the world is one where they are very strategic in who they attack and how they do it and what messages they put out. And we've got to be equally strategic about the way in which we do that. That messaging that America will turn its back on Muslims, that you can never trust them, it's the worst possible message. It's a propaganda gift for those who would do damage to the US.
If you were to speak to an American who is against this, an American who says, I'm putting America first, how would you respond to that person?
I'd say it's not just right to welcome refugees here, it's smart. John Kennedy, when he set up USAID, the international aid agency of the US government in 1961, he said, it befits America and it benefits America to promote stability around the world. And that is the essential argument. The world's got smaller. And the truth is, you know this, if your neighbor's house is on fire, your house is on fire.
Yeah.
And we've got to learn that lesson today. There are 7.5 billion people on the planet. Yes, we've got to take care of the home front, but you don't take care of the home front by pretending that you're isolated from the rest of the world.
If people want to get involved, if people want to help, what can they do?
The great thing about running the IRC is we're not just working around the world, we're working in 29 US cities. Please visit rescue.org, the IRC website. Please volunteer to help mentor and support refugees who are arriving. Please make sure that you take up the facts with your congressman. And of course, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say donate and support us if you can.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
David Miliband.